It is a challenge. It's a very, very good challenge because if I compare that time and now, if I didn't take that risk, I could have not been where I was doing my budget and saying, this is what I'm getting. And by the end of the month, I had to borrow some money to complete the month successfully. I decided now this is what I want to do and I will do it well. So I started learning and reading all about security in UAE, security in Dubai. I had to find a way to be friends with them, forgetting we are colleagues and trying to make friendship.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Say Africa podcast, the place to discover African success stories in the UAE and be inspired by our guests and their journey to success. Now, today's guest is someone I met during the COVID pandemic, and I witnessed the incredible outreach work him and a team of volunteers were doing for the African community in Dubai. I have since learned so much more about his personal journey, and I had to bring him onto the show for him to inspire you as much as he has inspired me. Now, his journey is a great example of confidence, hard work, and honesty. My guest today has taken chances in his life that have really paid off. And today's show is dedicated to anyone who wants to make a bold move, but is perhaps still sitting on the fence. I'm sure that after today's episode, you'll be encouraged to make a move. Crispin, welcome to the Say Africa podcast. I brought you here today so that you can inspire our audience and our listeners with your journey. Before we begin, Crispin, tell us, where are you from?
Thank you for having me here. I'm Crispin Mangongo. I'm from Kenya.
Wonderful.
Yes.
So I'm from Kenya too.
I come from the western part of Kenya,
Okay.
Nyanza.
Okay,
That's where I come from. But born and bred in Nairobi.
wonderful.
Yes.
Now, Crispin, I want you to take us back to what life was like before you came to the UAE.
Wow. Quite a long history.
Right.
In Kenya, life was a bit, I was like, you are not sure of tomorrow. By that time, the jobs were just manual jobs, not permanent jobs, not things that you can have that faith on.
Okay.
And those are the reasons why I decided to move to Dubai.
What were you doing? Were you working? Did you just graduate from school? Take us back to, say, 2-3 years prior to you moving to the UAE. What were you doing?
Before that, I had done several kind of jobs. I had done construction jobs,
Okay.
those manual jobs.
Okay.
By then, there was a time I worked even as a tout.
As a tout?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
In a matatu.
Okay.
I drove matatu. Okay. These are passenger vehicles.
Okay.
So I did several jobs. I worked in the only job that I can say that was a bit better by that time was as a teller. The last time, that is what I did last, but still, it was not putting me to where I thought I was supposed to be.
Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful. So if I understand correctly, Crispin, you had various casual jobs.
Yes.
So you worked in construction.
Yes.
You worked in the transport industry.
Yes.
Driving as well as being a conductor, or just
Yes.
driving?
Being a conductor, then driving without training.
Makes sense why
Yes.
the matatus, which is the public service vehicles in Kenya,
Yes.
they drive like crazy.
Yeah.
And then you said a teller. So teller where? In a bank?
Yeah, in Barclays Bank,
Okay.
market branch
Okay.
at that time.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So was that not a stable job?
It was not stable because it was a casual basis.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It was a casual basis. So that is when I saw an advertisement on newspaper
Okay.
of some jobs in Dubai.
Okay.
And by that time, my salary was around 15,000, something like that.
Okay.
And I was doing my budget. I'm always a budget person. I was doing my budget and saying, this is what I'm getting. And by the end of the month, I had to borrow some money to complete the month successfully. So I had
what
to do
you were
something about
earning
it.
monthly was not even enough to sustain you for 30 days.
Yes.
And you had to keep borrowing. And who are you borrowing from? Is it against your own salary or is it from friends?
Yeah, from friends, colleagues. Okay. Yeah, because, I'm a tall person. By that time, with the transport services, for me, by that time, it was like when you're going home, you must use a certain amount to sit or a certain amount to stand.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. So there's different fare prices.
Yeah, that
for
difference
seating versus standing.
versus standing.
Okay.
But I decided I will never again stand because it was very difficult for me to
To bend.
bend every time.
Okay.
So this one pushed my budget.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had to maintain my budget. You know, sometimes in life you decide to do something, then find a way later.
Right.
So I had to push my budget, and now this budget is not sustaining.
Okay.
It was not sustainable. So I had to do something about it.
Okay.
Yes.
So you were borrowing.
Yes.
Okay.
I had to borrow to, then when you come to the next salary, you pay what you borrowed. It will not be enough still.
Okay.
So it was a cycle that was not sustainable.
A perpetual cycle.
Yes.
Okay.
So I had to do something about it.
So tell me the day when you first saw this ad in the newspaper about Dubai.
I saw this ad on a newspaper. Okay. Before that,
Okay.
I did some computer classes.
Okay.
I was really good in reading. I was doing a lot of readings.
Okay.
I did computer classes. I did driving.
Okay.
Just on preparation, I got my passport.
Okay.
And everyone was asking, why are you looking for passport? But I knew I'll do something, but I didn't know what.
Right.
So by the time I was getting this advertisement, I already had a passport.
Right.
So when I saw the advertisement and the salary was around 20,000, it's only 5,000 more than what I was getting. So that one was covering what I was borrowing.
Okay.
And again, I was reducing on the transport, which is around 3,000 by that time, every day. So I did my budget and realized, okay, if I leave this one and I take this one, that means at least I will cover all my expenses. That is what I wanted.
Okay.
And I can save maybe 5,000 shillings, which was around 4,000 shillings, which was around 200 dirhams. So that is how I did my budget. When I saw this advertisement, it was in UniAfrica House.
That is so interesting, Crispin.
Yes.
So as somebody who is, I work in finance, and part of my job is educating people on the importance of budgeting.
Mm-hmm.
You've just demonstrated there that despite having so little, you were very budget conscious.
Yeah.
The other thing I really encourage people is to save. Again, with so little, you already had the amount that you were able to save.
Yes.
This is incredible. So tell me, so how did you then end up getting the job? Were they running interviews back in Kenya, or?
They were running interviews, and it was an agent whereby I was supposed to be paying around 110,000 shillings, so by that time. So when I went there, with my size, when they saw me, they said, wow, this is the size we are looking for. So do you have money? I said, yes, I have money. I didn't have money by that time, but I told them I have the money.
Okay.
So we did the first interviews. I passed. I came back to work. Then that company, something happened, and another company came,
Okay.
Securitas.
Okay.
So they were very, very serious, even though their pay was a bit lower than the first one, but they were very serious. So they did interview, and I was the first one to be put in front.
Wonderful. Crispin, take us back to your early days of arriving in the UAE. What was that like?
Yeah, the early days of arriving in UAE was kind of interesting and shocking at the same time.
How so?
Because we came with Air Arabia.
Okay.
That was my first time to enter an aeroplane.
Okay.
So the expectation was how it will be. And we were shocked because we didn't get food, because we were being told there is food in the aeroplane. So we did get that. Then we arrived in Sharjah.
Okay.
By that time, people only think of Dubai.
Correct.
You don't know there is this Emirates until you arrive.
Of course.
So we arrived in Sharjah. It was in the night, and they took our passports and took us to a bus, one van. We were 18 of us, Kenyans.
Okay.
Those are the first Kenyans who came in that company.
Okay.
So we had another 1 hour ride to Al Quoz. By that time, we didn't know it was Al Quoz.
Okay.
So our expectations was different, because nearly everyone, knowing Dubai, we were expecting to be taken to our houses.
Okay.
Maybe there were some houses somewhere for us. So, a shock to us, when we arrived in Al Quoz, we found so many people. And when we alighted and they told us, you divide yourself into 4. So I was wondering, why 4? Then, since something just happened, like I was the leader on that team.
Okay.
So it was me, I was being told, make sure they are in 4.
So you assumed a leadership role?
Yes.
Okay.
So, yes, we divided ourselves into 4. But now, I was thinking, in my mind, it was like, okay, it's night. So we are here for the time being, maybe until tomorrow. Then they will take us to our places to live. So when they told us to divide ourselves, we divided ourselves. We went up, they showed us the rooms, 4, 4, 4, 4. Then we entered the rooms. Now we are looking at each other. We are thinking, are we in Dubai? And we are just trying to talk to ourselves. So what next? So tomorrow we are going to our houses. I told them, relax. We just arrived.
Yeah.
And it's night. Again, the problem was food. We arrived and there was no, they just gave us the houses and they went.
No food.
Yeah, so we started thinking, oh, we are feeling hungry, but how do we eat? So we located some supermarkets there. I bought some milk and anything to eat. So we were happy we are in Dubai. But again, what we were expecting was a bit different from the reality now on the ground.
Right.
On the ground, things were very, very different. So those are our early days. And that's how we came. And the next day, because we were recruited as security guards.
Okay.
Yes. I was recruited as security guard, and we were 18 of us. So the next day was a training day. So they took us to training in Syria. So that's when I asked them, okay, now we are coming to training. When are we going to our houses? Then they told me, you know what? You've already reached where you are going.
This is your permanent accommodation.
Is your permanent accommodation.
Okay.
That's how it's done. So you'd be living 4 of you in a room.
Okay.
We had to just accept it because there was no option. So we went for training for 1 week.
So the expectations on the ground here were never relayed to you during the interview process or before you left Kenya?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Nobody told us what we were expecting.
Okay.
Yeah, we were just being told the good part. You are coming to Dubai, you are coming to work, and this is what you'll earn.
Okay.
So your mind is fixed.
Right.
But now the bigger picture is what you don't know
Right.
until you arrive.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So take us through how training was in the preceding days.
So we did the training, 1 week, we passed, and now it came to a time where deployment was supposed to be done. This is when they called nearly 200 staffs,
Okay.
because I think the company was still young
Okay.
and they were trying to grow. So they were looking for talents or leadership. They were trying to look within the team. So they called nearly everyone in a room. By that time, the management was lean, so it was easy for them to come and bring all the staff in a meeting room or a hall.
Okay.
So they called everyone after training, and everyone came. So they asked, because now we are mixed now. We have Asians, we have people from different places.
Okay.
So all of us. So they asked us, how many of you have been supervisors in their countries? I just thought I can be a supervisor. I raised my hand.
So you've never been a supervisor?
I've never been a security guard.
And you've never been a supervisor?
Never, leave alone a supervisor, a security guard.
Right.
I just did training.
Right.
So I raised my hand. We were very few of us. I was nearly the only African who raised his hand. So they said, okay, no problem. So tomorrow you guys will come. Then we'll be doing interviews for you guys here in front of everyone. That day I didn't sleep. I was reading, trying to understand
what the
is
role
security,
requires.
what are the rules, what are the regulations, what are the roles, what do they do, how do they do their jobs. So you remember I'm in a foreign country and I'm trying to read what's in Kenya and what's happening here. So the next day, the day came and everyone was there. Now they started calling one by one and asking questions. The management was sitting like here and all the staffs are there.
So they're calling all the people who put their hands up saying that they've been supervisors?
Yes.
Okay.
They are calling each and everyone, asking questions. Like, if this happens, how can you handle this? Just to know how experienced they are.
Right.
I passed. And I was a supervisor from that day.
Amazing.
So I was deployed in Business Bay Towers. They were still under construction
Okay.
as a supervisor with 12 guards.
So you had a team of 12?
Yes.
Okay.
I had a team of 12. And 90% of them are people who cannot understand. Okay, you know, the good thing with Africa, or for example, Kenya, we learn English from early stage.
Very true.
We have countries who don't do that. They learn on their own language. So when they come here, also they have a challenge of learning the language. So I was given a team, and the communication was very tough because I come from a place where people are speaking English, and now I've been given a team here to lead, and we can't understand each other very well. So it was a bit tough. And again, I'm new in this country, I'm new in this place, so sometimes in the night they were disappearing. I don't even know where they are.
And where would they disappear to?
No, because it's a building. I've never worked in a building, in a big, huge building like this.
Right.
Yeah. So it was a bit tough in the first few weeks. I really wanted to, I nearly surrendered, but I just kept on going.
I want to ask you two things with that. How did you maneuver managing a team that you've never managed before, navigating communication with people who don't speak a language that you do? How did you navigate that?
I had to find a way to be friends with them. First of all, forgetting your colleagues and trying to make friendship, so that we can understand each other, because there was a challenge of being different nationalities, and now we are facing a different culture. So we had to be friends. We had to start talking different from work, understanding each and every one of them, their life history, what they've gone through, how they found themselves here, me too, you know. So this is what made me come together with the team, and it made us work together.
That is such incredible foresight. You know, that's having empathy in your leadership.
Yes.
You know, putting yourself in their shoes, trying to understand them.
I had to do that because what they were facing is the same thing that I was facing.
Right.
But the problem is, with them, they can come to me for advice. But me, who do I go to?
Very true.
So it was so stressful because the weather is something that we didn't expect. It was so hot by that time, and we were in the basement. And whenever I said I'm feeling hot, they were bringing, what do you call it?
Fans.
Fans. And this fan
It's hot air.
They put it in front of you, and it's just bringing hot air. So it was kind of the challenges which I was going through, they were going through too.
Yeah.
But with them, they took me as a leader, so they were coming to me when they miss their families, when they feel like they're down. So this one inspired me. So it gave me that strength to push on. So then I was thinking, I'm feeling the same, but now me, who do I go to? It came even to a time I called my sister. I told her, I'm just tired with this thing. She asked me 3 questions. Are you working? I said, yes. Are you being paid? I said, yes. Did you resign from your job in Nairobi? I said, yes. Then she told me, don't be stupid. Then she disconnected the phone. So I said, okay, now I'm on my own. I must push. So these things gave me that, it gave me time also to read and learn a lot. Now I decided now this is what I want to do, and I will do it well. So I started learning and reading all about security in UAE, security in Dubai. So it really helped me to help even the team that I was working with.
That's incredible.
Yes.
When did you come here? What year was this?
It was by end of 2007.
Okay, so this was just before
after
the financial crisis?
After the post-elections in Kenya. Yes.
So before the financial crisis
as
well. So at a very interesting times.
Yes, it was very tough time because by that time, when we came, you were being told, why are you guys coming now? People are being terminated, are going back, and you guys are coming now.
Correct.
Yes. So that is the time.
And it obviously hit and impacted the real estate market quite a lot.
Yes, it was a big thing that time. So we were so lucky, by the way,
Wonderful.
to come when things were not good financially.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
How were you able to maneuver and deal with having left home, your friends, family, and now you're here by yourself? How were you able to navigate that, Crispin?
Yeah, it was tough. And what really helped me was that the same thing I was going through, my team was going through.
Okay.
So they were coming to me as their leader to advise them how they can cope with the same challenges that I'm going through.
Right.
But now I can't tell them I'm going through the same. So I had to be strong for them, to make sure the work is going on well, and for the sake of the company, and for my own sake, because now as a leader, management were coming to me, and I was the one making reports, doing all what is supposed to be done, and I was going through the same issues of missing my family. But again, I don't have I don't have anyone to talk to.
Right.
But now when these people are coming to me, telling me what they are feeling, and I know what I'm feeling, the same thing, and advising them, it gave me courage and strength to move on.
Amazing. Yeah. Now, we'll have people that are watching the show today, Crispin, who are considering and contemplating moving to the UAE. What advice would you have for them at this juncture, just given that part of the journey?
The only thing I can advise those who want to come to the UAE is they should be open-minded.
Okay.
And just face whatever they will be, because for us it was different. We didn't know anything.
Right.
And by that time, even Africans were very few here. So we had no one to talk to advise. Just come and face it as it is. Because don't get shocked, because we don't learn all these things back home. We come and see them here.
Very true.
Yeah.
But would you encourage people to take up opportunities here?
Yes, it is a challenge. It's a very, very good challenge, because if I compare that time and now, if I didn't take that risk, I could have not been where. Yeah.
Tell us what happens next.
After some time, after working some time in Business Bay, the company got a contract in FedEx, Terminal 2. By that time, FedEx was paying Abu Dhabi rate, because Dubai rate was different. It's always different from Abu Dhabi rate.
Okay.
When Dubai rate, we were being paid 1,000 dirhams per month. Abu Dhabi was paying 2,800 for guards, and 3,500 for supervisors.
Okay.
So a chance comes out here now. They need supervisors. They need a team to work in FedEx. FedEx being an international organization, their bar was so high. Their bar was so high raised to get people to work there.
Okay.
It was a challenge for the company. They took a lot of people for interviews. Most of them got the guarding position. Now it came to a time where now they needed supervisors.
Okay.
They took all the supervisors they had. Nobody succeeded. They had to take me for that interview. I passed that interview.
Incredible.
And I was the only supervisor who was selected from Securitas as a company.
Okay.
So they had to bring another supervisor from another company. I didn't think much about what I will earn, because these were just rumors. So I just focused in what I was doing. And being that we were only two supervisors, one day, one night, so there was no reliever. So that means you were working 12 hours every day without off. I was okay with that, because I was really learning. Working in the airport was so amazing, because I think that is what built me.
And this was Dubai Airport?
Yes, Dubai Airport, Terminal 2.
Okay.
Yes, so end of the month, I worked in this place for 3 months, Business Bay. Every month I was saving 200 dirhams, as I planned before.
Right.
Yes. So by the time I was going to this new job, I had 600 kept. So again, full month I worked. When the salary came, because they were paying us on the 7th, every 7th. When I checked my account, I was shocked. 4,000 dirhams.
Wow.
I was like, what? What will I do with all this money? Because I didn't plan to get this money. And I have some 600, remember?
Your
saved.
savings, yeah.
Yes. So it was kind of happiness. That's when I realized now I'm in Dubai. But still my budget was 1,000. I withdrew only 1,000 because that was my budget. And I just did what I was supposed to be doing, buy food, send home, do this, and I saved my 200. So I had 4,800 dirhams. So that is how my salary increased, and it really shocked me. Like I was going to work and I'm not believing. I was checking my account every 2 days to see if the money was really mine or it was a mistake and it's already taken. So I worked in FedEx for some time, and another chance came after around maybe a year or maybe 1 year.
Okay.
Yes. Senior supervisor in Deficit Center.
Okay.
There was one guy who came with the contract, so he was doing internal interviews.
Okay.
So he wanted senior supervisors. In FedEx, I was nearly like the first African to be a supervisor there. So again, I was lucky again to be the first senior supervisor when I was selected to work in Deficit Center. So the journey was kind of, things were like moving the way I planned.
Stars were aligned.
Yeah, yeah. Things were kind of moving as I was expecting by that time, and I worked in Deficit Center as a senior supervisor. My salary was still same, but that one was very interesting because if I compare myself with the people I came with,
Right.
by that time they were still guards. They had not gone to the next level. So I was in Securitas for 3 years. Then to me it was enough. I didn't want to renew the contract.
Okay.
At every point I really wanted something that can give me a challenge.
A bigger challenge.
Yes.
Okay.
And that really pushed me so much. I resigned from Securitas and I joined Al Center.
Okay.
It was not because of money. Because when I went to Deficit Center, my salary came to 3,500, around there, because now I was taking offs. When I got a job in Al Center, it was the same salary.
Okay.
I didn't move because of salary.
Okay.
I moved because in Securitas, I was a supplier.
Right. Okay.
Like I was being supplied, like the company is supplying you to work in places. But in now Deficit Center, in Al Ghurair, I will be an in-house security.
Right.
Which means I
direct
was
hire.
being directly hired by Al Ghurair.
Okay.
So that is what I saw.
But what is the difference?
The difference is that when you're working in a supply company, you are supplied to work in locations, different locations, but you are not employed by that. Like for example, I was working in Reef. I'm not employed with MAF.
No, I surely understand that.
Yes.
But what is the difference? I mean, you still have a job, you're still getting the salary that you said you were quite happy with.
Yeah, the difference was now I'll be working 8 hours
Okay.
for the same salary.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll not be a supplier.
Okay.
You feel nice when you are in-house
Understood.
than when you're a supplier.
Understood. Okay.
So that is what pushed me to go to the next level.
Okay.
But it was a very, very good decision because I didn't think about money when I was going to that place. So money just came.
Okay.
Because after some time, they decided to have now the shifts, because it was three people per shift.
Okay.
They decided to have 2, so 12 hours, which was okay also. And with that one, my salary increased by 2,500.
So what were you earning now in total?
So I was earning, it was 3,500. Now I have 2,500 more. So that one came to around 7.
Yes.
So it was okay. Now I'm earning 7,000, doing 12 hours, the same that I was doing in the other company. Then I asked for outliving.
Okay.
They accepted. Then another additional of 2,500.
Okay, for accommodation.
For accommodation.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Whereby accommodation I was paying around 1,500. Okay. So that is how, like my salary increased. Something that I didn't plan when I came in that company. Sure. So I was advising people, you don't resign because of not only money. It's not all about money. Yeah. Sometimes there are so many other things other than money.
Right.
Yeah. So that's how I worked in Al Center. When I went to Al Center, I found the security department was kind of traditional. So, and being a new person coming in this place with kind of experience that I had in my former places, I was a very, very good asset. Mm-hmm. So I had to train. That's when I learned about training. I had to train all the guards. I had to train even the supervisors. And the manager who was there was so helpful. He gave me all the powers to do what I wanted.
Incredible.
And I had to change the department to look modern.
Incredible.
And they had to change the uniform. So we did a lot of things in Al Ghurair.
And this was all from trainings that you had from your previous roles?
Yes.
Incredible.
That is how, those are the things that pushed me to make this old. Because every time I always ask questions whenever I go somewhere. Why are we doing this in this way? Why don't we do it in this way? So if someone is someone who really understands, they know the reason why I'm asking, and like the manager was telling me, okay, implement it.
Okay.
Implement it. And we did all that. It was so shocking because when after 2.5 years, the same manager resigned, and guess who came as my manager? The same manager I had in Muridipsi Center.
Interesting.
Yeah. He's the one who, it was shocking. And it was kind of, it gave me some elevation because everyone was like, it is you who knows him. So it's better you work with him because he was British.
Okay.
And now here again, another thing. You know, he was British and he knew very well his English is a bit, as in, if you're not that keen.
His accent
was so heavy.
Okay.
So me being that I've worked with him, it was easy.
Okay.
Other supervisors were not understanding what he's saying,
okay.
even on radio.
Okay.
So everyone was calling me, what has he said? Whenever he speaks on radio.
Okay.
So it was kind of interesting.
Okay.
I really loved working there. And I worked there for 4 years. And again, the same pushing that wanted me to go to the next level had just to come back.
So you had another itch to move on.
I had another urge to move on. And to me, 4 years doing the same thing every day, to me was enough.
Okay.
I found people who had worked there for 25 years, 30 years. I'm the only one who came on the same grade, on the higher grade, because there it was like grade A, B, C, D. So I'm the only one who was employed under grade D. And again, I'm the only one who resigned from that position. Because to me, I felt like the position I was like on the ceiling.
Okay. You'd reached your glass ceiling.
Yeah, because I didn't expect to be employed as a security manager, because that one was reserved for British and locals.
Okay.
Yeah, so no one else. So I realized here, that means I'll do the same thing until retirement, like my colleagues, because that's what they were doing. And again, by that time, I really wanted to be in a management position.
Okay.
I felt like now I'm ripe to manage to be in that position of management.
And are you still maintaining a budget? Are you still saving?
No, by that time things have changed because my budget was after 3 months of getting money, and I had around like 10,000, and I called my sister, told her I have this money, what can I do? She told me send it in the account. I sent it to her to deposit. Then I called my dad. So my dad told me, okay, start investing in land.
Okay.
Whichever money you get, just send it and we buy some land. So that's what I started doing. So I started investing in acquiring parcels of land in different places.
Okay.
So that means my budget now was interfered with. My focus now was in investment, kind of. So
this is such a cookie cutter template, Crispin. I don't know if you understand or realize. You started budgeting.
Yeah.
And maintaining a budget.
Yeah.
You started saving and maintaining your saving.
Yes.
As your life elevated, as your savings increased, you started investing.
Yes.
Wanting to grow your wealth.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I realized with saving I was losing.
Yes.
Because when I sent money, some money was being deducted and some were deposited. So I can't account for.
There's FX exchange, there's fees, of course.
So in my rural home, I had to build some residentials, and I built even a club. So these are what I was doing.
This is incredible. So here you are as a supervisor in for a security department, but you're able to start investing.
Yep.
You've got a land bank.
Yep.
With time, you start building. And where's this money then going? Are you making any money from building? Or are you selling? Is it for rent?
No, I was just keeping them.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad is a very different person. He always advise, whatever you buy, just buy, don't sell.
Okay.
Yeah, so you just buy and keep it.
So the homes you were building, you were renting them out?
Yeah, the residential that I built back home in the village,
yes,
I'm renting them.
Okay.
They're being rented.
Okay.
Yeah, and the plots that I bought are just there.
Okay.
Because I was having some future plans with them.
Okay.
So now in Al Ghurair, after 4 years, it was shocking when I resigned. Everyone was shocked because no one resigns. Because it's like a semi-government.
Okay.
You get your salary on time, you can get loans. It was
very comfortable position. Okay.
Yeah, very comfortable. And that's why the people I got there had worked for 20, 25 years.
Yes.
Yeah. Until now, the people I left there, when I go there, I find them.
Wow.
They're still there. Because people don't resign. Because of that being comfortable.
Right.
They work for their whole lifetime. So I went to another company. It was a company that was having restaurants, having travel agencies.
Okay.
So I was the operations manager.
Okay.
Little did I know that when I was going to this company, already the company had started going down.
Okay.
9 months down the line, the company was down. And I had to look for another job.
So the company shut down?
Yes.
Okay.
The company shut down. They had so many cases, legal issues, and they had to shut down.
Okay.
Just 9 months after I joined. So that is when I got a job in Al Falah Security Services.
So you went back to security?
I went back to, I realized...
This is what you know.
This is what I can do. This is what I know. I will do it now.
Okay.
But I had a rest for 9 months.
Okay.
Which was enough. I needed that break.
Yes.
Yes. So I joined Al Falah as the one in charge of Dubai.
Okay.
Because Al Falah was based in Abu Dhabi. And now they wanted to enter in Dubai. So they bought like City Tech company, security company. They bought some 2 companies here in Dubai.
Okay.
So they wanted someone to represent them.
Okay.
So that is how I got the job. And now I was the one in charge of the whole of Dubai. And that gave me a lot of exposure with dealing with clients, and I did a lot. And it's like I was working in UAE. Every Saturday I was going in Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
We have an office in Al Quwain. We had another one in Ras Al Khaimah. That is how it was working. So it really opened my eyes.
You had to be in all these locations?
I had to be in all these locations.
Okay.
Yeah. At one time, I was having a sports car. And because of driving to Abu Dhabi every weekend, and I discovered I had a 9,000 fine. Because it was so hectic. Because they can just call you, they want you in Abu Dhabi in the next 1 hour.
Okay.
Yeah, because the headquarters is in Abu Dhabi, so we must report there. I worked with them for kind of 8 or 9 months.
Okay.
But again, there was a challenge.
What was this
challenge?
Okay.
No, it's like I was comparing everywhere I was going, I was comparing with
the previous.
And it was not working because now here, the challenge was salaries. You don't get it on time.
Okay.
Yeah. And the visa issue was another issue. So the comfortability that I had before, I think, first I was thinking it was my mistake to start comparing the company I am with the company I was. But then I realized, no, this is not what I expected again.
Okay.
So one day on this running, someone told me, I saw on LinkedIn, there was these Australians who are coming to open a company in Dubai.
Okay.
So I responded on the LinkedIn, and they responded to me and told me there will be an interview in Crete.
So you saw a LinkedIn job post?
Yes.
And you responded to?
Yes.
Okay.
I responded to it, and they told me they'll be having a kind of interview or discussion. So because of what I was facing this side, I decided, let me take another role. But now I had gained what I wanted. Now I was a manager.
Okay.
I was managing the whole place. So I had very good experience.
Okay.
So this day came. And I just said, okay, let me pass by and see what they're doing there. Because it's not an interview per se, it's like a discussion.
An open forum.
Open forum.
Okay.
Then from there, they will pinpoint the people they will interview.
Okay.
So I went to this open forum in Crete. It was having around 50 to 60 people there. They wanted how many? 4.
Oh.
Only management. That's what they wanted. So I went there and it was a discussion because they want to open a company in Dubai. And now, how will they open a company in Dubai? Since you guys are the guys who have been here and you have experience in UAE, so we need your advice. So through your advice, that is when you will get people to manage the company.
Interesting. Okay.
And before that, I was having another meeting in another place, and I got information that there is one company that is being sold. Someone wants to sell a company. And remember when I joined Al-Falah bought 2 companies in Dubai. So I had that in mind. So when my time came to give my views, I just told them, why don't you guys buy a company? Instead of going all that
New setups and branding.
Why don't you just buy a company and brand it as yours? When I gave that idea,
suggestion,
everyone was like, no. Everyone, nearly 90%. If it was their wish, I could have just gone out that time. But I gave my reasons why. So we had 2 people. We had one guy who is, can I say names?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, we had one guy, Sam, who is the brainchild of the company.
Okay.
And we had Steve, who is his cousin, who is the financer.
Okay.
Now, even Sam was not with my idea, but one person had got this idea, Steve. So after all that discussion, everybody went. And after 2 days, I got a call. They called me the same hotel. So I went there. They told me it's not an interview.
Okay.
It's like kind of another discussion on top of what we discussed in the group. So they want individual discussions. So they're calling everyone.
Okay.
I went there and I gave them what the reason why I gave that idea of buying another company.
Right.
And they asked me if I'm given that company, how can I run it? I gave them how I can run a company, even though I had not run a company. But I was just giving all these ideas. And okay, how many people can you employ? I gave them my plan. Like I can employ, I'll be there, the HR will be there. I don't need an accountant now because the company is not making money. That one I can outsource. So I gave them a very minimum budget to start running a company.
Wow.
So it's like Steve liked the idea, but Sam no, because Sam wanted to, he wanted to have a transguard style.
Okay.
One time. So I think by that time they had a lot of money and they were thinking it was easy. It's not. So again, after that meeting, they called me again, several meetings. Then one day they called me, Sam called me and told me, no, they are going back to Australia.
Okay.
They've already selected a GM, and that GM will call me for a final interview. Remember, by that time, I'm 9 months overstay. This company has not made me any visa. I had around 9,000 fine.
Okay.
But I was working. I was waking up in the morning, taking my car and going around visiting clients and doing everything like nothing happened.
Wow.
But on the background, what was happening is because they wanted to give me a security guard visa.
Okay.
And I said, no, I cannot allow security guard visa in my passport again.
Okay.
This is what I left in Securitas. And I can't go back to that until you guys will be ready to give me the security manager's visa, then I can accept.
Okay.
So we had this push and pull on visa thing. So now it was nearly 9 months. I don't have a visa. But that one didn't bother me much because I knew in this country there is system, and when that time will come, I will sort it out.
Okay.
So Kevin calls me. He's the GM, Oscar Security Services, to meet him in Arabian Ranches. Wow, place I've never gone. And I arrived there, being an African, they saw me and they were like, hey, what are you doing here? Do you have a table? I was like, oh, So you need to have a table to come here. But Kevin was on the other side. Then he saw me. He came for me. So we sat on the table and they had a discussion. But now he was not happy due to this visa issue.
Okay.
Kind of.
The fact that you have an overstay.
Yes.
You've got fines.
Have an overstay,
Okay.
I have fines. So, but I told him, do you know what? With this visa issue, I will deal with it.
Okay.
Yes, I know how to deal with it. Forget about it. Leave it to me. Then he told me tomorrow by 2 o'clock, I'll send you the
Decision.
the decision. I said, it's fine. So the next day, I was just sleeping. Then I got the email. I saw it on phone. It was a regret.
Oh.
Yeah. I said, it's okay. That's life. I woke up, went on with my job. But it's like, this is what was happening. This is what he thought. But on the other side, the owners, Steve, insisted that I must be in the team.
Okay.
Why? Because after 2 days, Kevin called me. And he asked me, did you get my email? Yes, I got your email. What can you say about it? I told him, that's your decision. And I respect it. There's nothing else to say. I've given my part and you gave me a regret, so it's okay. I'm still going on with my life as usual.
Right.
Then he told me, what do you say about your visa? I told him my visa, I told you the same thing. I will deal with it, keep it out of my, of the job, like the position that you want to give me.
Okay.
Put it different, and the visa, let it be something different that I will deal with myself. Then he told me, okay, send me an email detailed on how you'll deal with the visa issue.
Okay.
Then I'll think about it. I went back home. I sat down. I wrote a very big email on details on how I will deal with this visa issue. And I sent it to him. The next day, I got an offer letter.
Before we move on, can you
Yes.
share with us some of those things that you had written there? How were you planning to deal with this?
I knew I had an overstay. And I had already worked on it whereby I knew what to do.
Okay.
I had to get an offer letter.
Okay.
Then go to Alawir
Okay.
and ask for reduction
Okay.
of fines.
Okay.
Then if it's approved, then I can get my visa. The fine will be deducted.
Okay.
After all, I didn't do anything illegal.
Okay.
It's only that I found myself in this situation not willingly.
Understood.
Like I didn't run from a company.
Understood.
Yeah. So I knew what I was doing was right.
Okay.
And that's why I told him I will deal with it.
Okay.
Him being that he didn't know that he came from Saudi Arabia, so he didn't know all that procedure.
Okay.
So I explained to him on how I'll deal with it. Then he sent me an offer letter. I was like, okay. Immediately he sent me an offer letter. The next day I went to work. It was around May, and the offer letter will be like I'll start working from August.
Okay.
So there is June and July, 2 months. So when I went to work the next day, same time they want to make me a visa. Now they are ready to make for me a visa.
The security manager visa.
Yes.
Okay.
And same time I have now an offer on
right.
this side. Here they gave me I was getting 8,000,
Okay.
and I have an offer of 12,000.
Oh.
But it will start in August.
Right.
I told them no, I don't want your visa now. Then they told me if you don't want the visa, then stop working. I was like confused. But again, I wanted this other job because now, so I had to stop working. I had to return the car, return everything. But now I told them, okay, I'm stopping the work, yes, but you have to pay for the fines. While on the other side, I'm planning to go for immigration to reduce the fine.
Yes.
So I didn't tell them this. I just told them I need
This
to
is
pay
the standard
fine.
fine fees.
Yes.
Okay.
Then they said, okay, we will pay the fines until now. The next 2 months, we will not pay.
Okay.
I told them it's okay. So same time, the PRO from Oscar had started the work on my visa.
Okay.
So I went to Alawir myself, and I told them this is what happened. So the question was, do you want in or out? In. This is the offer letter. So the process started for reducing fines. While on this other side, I'm pushing to get the money for the fine.
Right.
So one day I got a call from Al-Flah. I went there, and they gave me 7,000
For your fine.
for my fines.
Okay.
And they told me to send the receipt.
Okay.
The next day, I got an approval from immigration.
Reduction of fees.
My fine was reduced from 9,000 to 500.
Oh, wow.
So after all, I got my money. I got the money to make me survive for 2 months.
But how did you send a receipt? How did
I
you?
didn't send.
Okay.
Because first they stopped me from work just like that, without notice. Secondly, they're the ones who put me in this
Situation.
mess.
Yeah.
So it saved me because now I had 7,000 to survive,
Okay.
and now my fine was reduced. So that is how I sorted this issue
Okay.
with Kevin. So August came, and we reported in the office. And Sam was here, and Steve was here. So now, because I'm reporting to Kevin, and I told them very clearly, because when we were going for interview, I was fighting to get that position.
Kevin's role.
Yes.
Okay.
But now, they gave me a position of the operations manager. So we have me as operations manager. We have 3 others who are British, all of them. This Kevin, this Hannah, and there is one lady there for, we have the HR,
Okay.
accountant, operations, and GM,
Okay.
which was very unnecessary by that time. So these guys have been paying salaries from May, June, July, August. So they've been spending money. So by the time we are coming in this office, the guys have spent so much money, whereby now the expectation now is kind of different. They are thinking now they've spent money and now they need to start making money. So they told Kevin to give them a budget plan. So he gave them a budget plan whereby they were supposed to be spending another 1.2 million in 3 years
Okay.
without getting any profit.
Okay.
So now they got so disappointed. Now Steve reminded Sam, I told you, Crispin told us the right thing. You could have started low as we grow,
Right.
but this is what you wanted. So it was a very big issue to whereby Steve withdrew
Okay.
and Sam was left alone, and he didn't have the finance. So he wanted to close the company. One day he called me when I was going home because they were trying to talk to me, and I was telling them, no, I can't have any discussions with you guys. I report to Kevin. So anything you want, go through Kevin. I follow protocol. Then one day they called me when I was going home. It was on a Thursday in a certain restaurant. And they told me, do you know what? We messed up and now we want to close the company. Close the company again? And we want to ask you, what do you think? I told them, your expenditure is too high. The market in Dubai cannot allow this expenditure for a company that is just starting.
Right.
Yeah. You had to reduce your expenditure because we are not alone in the market. We have 400 companies outside there. So even the pricing that we are supposed to be giving, you cannot match Transguard. They've already sold themselves. You guys are good
they're a
in
known
Australia.
brand.
Yes,
Yeah.
they have a brand. You guys, you have a brand in Australia, not in Dubai. So after a few days, being the operations manager, so I had some clients. The clients who are my friends in
Previous
Al-Falah,
role.
my previous company. So I'm the one who I took Sam and Steve and Kevin. I took them to visit clients. So they visited the first hotel, they visited the second hotel, and the third hotel. So then they came to realize, okay, now we are having a general manager who is just sitting in the office doing nothing, and we're having an operations manager who is the lowest paid guy, and is the one who is trying to fight to get contracts for the company. So one day they called me and they told me, do you know what? Can you run this company? Then I was like, oh, I need to think about that because I have never run a company, like a full company. I've just done operations in a company. I've run a department,
Right.
not a full company.
whole
so I
company.
need to think about that. So they told me, we are giving you until Thursday to decide.
And when was this?
This was in 2017.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you say they gave you till Thursday,
Yeah.
this was what?
It
day
was on a
or 2
Monday.
days?
And they're telling me, we are giving you until Thursday to come and respond on this issue.
So you had 4 days to decide whether
had 4
you could
days.
run a company.
Yes. Something that I had never ever done. Now, that day, I had to make calls to my former friends, people who I can talk to, people who I worked with in Al-Falah. We had to meet them. Then 1 o'clock in the night, again, Sam called me.
Okay.
Have you thought about it? I told him, but it's supposed to be a Thursday. He said, no, I just wanted to know if you are thinking about it.
Okay.
I said, yes, I'm thinking about it. But are you having a meeting? Yeah, because we were discussing. He said, yes, I'm having a meeting. Okay. Then we had this. Then I got a lot of encouragement from my friends. They told me, you have a good experience, and the way you run Al-Falah in Dubai,
Okay.
that is the same thing you're going to do there. The difference is very small, but that is the same thing you are going to do. So just accept the offer.
You've got the experience.
Yeah. First I was like, I can't.
Okay.
Because with running a company is different. You have several departments that must run, and you must be on top of everything.
Right.
So again, the next day, they called me for a meeting. So I had to go for the meeting. Then they asked me, are you thinking about it? I told them, yes, I will do it. Let's not wait until Thursday. I've decided I will do it.
Okay.
Then from there, now we started to have a plan on, okay, now how? Because Sam has already been left. Steve is gone. Sam does not have money. So the reason why I was following this is because he gave me two options. It's either you run it or I close it.
Okay.
And I started thinking, at my age now, I started looking for another job, being that my previous two jobs were not stable. And now it's like I have a chance, and again I have to look for another job. I said, no, closing it is not an option.
Okay.
Now we'll run it.
What was, one, the tipping point that made you decide to take the offer? And two is, what's motivating or inspiring you at this time?
I had to take the offer. What pushed me to take the offer was the options that were given here on the table.
Okay.
It's like, you run it or we close it.
Okay.
And we go back to Australia.
Okay. And you have to then start figuring things out
Yes.
again.
Then I
Okay.
just started thinking about, at my age by that time, and I was tired of looking for another job.
Okay.
And I had a position which I need to take care of.
Okay.
So it's either I say yes, and if I say no and they close, I'll go back to the field, start looking for a job.
Okay.
That's what I didn't want. And again, I had 3 kids.
Okay.
And if I go back in Kenya, the reasons why I was thinking of leaving Kenya to come to Dubai, because when I was having my 3 kids, we gave a 5 years gap.
Okay.
I had plan on that also.
Okay.
Because by that time I was in Kenya, I was thinking, I can't have 2 kids in secondary school. I can't have 2 kids in university. And I wanted all of them to go through the education. So we had a plan.
Planned? Wow.
So my kids are, all of them, the first 3, they are 5 years gap.
And this was due to you planning for
Yes.
their educational future.
This is something I planned before even thinking of having kids.
What inspired that sort of thinking?
Because I saw in our family, we are a big family.
Okay.
And my father was struggling to give us education,
Okay.
and he could not. Some of them could not, some of them were succeeding.
Okay.
But because he had 2 wives and more than 15 children,
Okay.
and he was the only breadwinner,
Okay.
So seeing this one in the family, I decided when my time will come, if I'll have kids, there'll
Plan
have to be
better.
a gap of 5 years.
Okay.
So my first daughter, 1997, then 2002, then 2007. So all these I had planned before.
Amazing.
So when I was coming, so this thing was really pushing me.
Okay.
I want them to be happy.
Understood.
Yeah. And I didn't want 2 of them to be at the same time. But now when I came to Dubai, things were different now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So those are the 2 things that push me.
Wonderful. Okay. So you take on this challenge, then what happens?
I take on this challenge. Now, the plan is now, how do we implement it? Implementation now. So that means during the day I'm working, but during the night we are having a meeting on planning of implementation.
Okay.
When will I take it? and how will I take it, and who will I employ. And now that is my part. Sam's also part was, how do I get rid of the 3 guys
Okay.
so that you can take over? So we made this plan, and we decided one Sunday, like we planned it like a movie. Like you will come, you will go in the office as usual. 10 o'clock I will come. I will call you guys for a meeting. Then I will say I'm closing the company, and I'm terminating you. That's me. And I'm terminating Kevin, and I'm terminating the accountant. So the only person who will remain will be the HR.
Okay.
So that is the plan we made. So the next week, that was on a Thursday. That Thursday that I was supposed to be coming with the report. So that Thursday we were planning how to take over from next week,
Okay.
Monday. Sunday, because that time we were starting, the week was
The
starting
week
on
started
Sunday.
Sundays, right?
Yes, by that time. So on Sunday, we went to the office as usual, doing what we are doing. Then 10 o'clock, Sam came. He told us, all of us, we have a meeting. We sat in the meeting room. Then he said, I've tried to run this company, but the budget that I was given, I cannot manage, and now I've decided to close the company.
Okay.
So I'm terminating Crispin. So when everyone heard I'm terminating Crispin, it was like, and you know, our British brothers, what are you doing? So, and he told him, you also. So it was like, wow. And then he said, I'll only remain with Hannah to do the paperwork and the payment, then she will go. So it's like a shock to others, but with me, I
You
knew
knew.
what we had discussed. And the discussion was, after saying this, then he will say that anyone who wants to talk to me, we can have a discussion. Then we will go down and discuss. So after saying this, he said that anyone who wants to in discussion, I'm open.
Okay.
Then Kevin said, okay, let's talk. Then they went down with Kevin. They talked for about an hour. They came back. So Kevin was feeling for me much than him. He was feeling, now you lose this job again after you had all these visa problems.
Right.
So when Sam came, then Kevin is down and said, Crispin, go and talk to Sam. So we went down. There was a restaurant down because we were on 12th floor.
Okay.
So we went down. Now we made the plan. Plan 1 is done. So
What's next?
what next? Yeah, the HR, this. So we made a plan on how it would work. Then when he came back, he said, okay, I've discussed with Crispin. I'll give him 2 weeks. And you know, these 2 weeks are 2 weeks that was supposed to be, Anna was supposed to be going. Yeah. So that is how we made it. And Kevin went and everyone went. Then after all of them had gone, Sam came one day. We were on the ground floor. He gave me the key. He told me there's an office in 12th floor. The door is written Oscar Security Services. I'm leaving you in this office. I'll pay your salary for 3 months. So do what you can. If you'll take it to the next level, that's your own.
Okay.
It's you to decide. But for me, I will pay you salary for 3 months.
Okay.
That's how Sam went to Australia, and he left me in the office. So that's how I started the Oscar Security Services from scratch.
Wow.
I started doing the paperwork. It was like swimming in the mud. It was not easy doing things that I've never ever done. I started doing the paperwork for registration, doing the SIRA issues, and the good thing I had got all this training.
Okay.
So I had an idea of this. So I did everything. By the time he was coming back in the 4th or 6th month, he came back. By that time when he came, he found everything was done. I already had a contract, and I was planning to recruit.
Wow.
So he only paid me salary for 3 months, for 2 months, not 3 months, from his side. The 4th month, I was getting salary from the company.
Incredible.
I made sure I had deployed, and I made sure I had done recruitment, and that's how the company came up, and I recruited one lady, HR, and later I recruited one, the Egyptian who I was working with before.
Okay.
Yeah, the one who inspired me.
Right,
I
right.
brought him in. So you are a team.
Okay.
It was the best team ever.
Incredible.
It was the best team in 1 year's time. We were around 50 to 60 guards. But the good thing is that finance now was there. We had reduced the expenditure.
Okay.
Yeah, to the lowest, compared to what he was paying. Because before he was paying like 100,000 per month. Now he's paying like only maybe 30 or 40, and we're having some income. So that's how Oscar worked in 2017, 2018. By 2018, we had more than 100 guards.
Incredible. And you were doing the recruitment directly, or you outsourcing?
I was doing both. Whenever I had an urgent deployment, I was doing recruitment within.
Okay.
Whenever I had a long term, I was taking from up countries, and sometimes I was outsourcing from other companies.
Okay.
I was just doing all. So this one gave me very good experience.
Of course.
And because Sam used a lot of money on initial, so he was kind of not that happy, because he had used a lot of money, and now the income that was coming was not as he was expecting. He was expecting something big. So after 1 year, he took around 600,000 loan.
Okay. What was this for? Expansion?
No,
Personal use?
no, he just took, and he was trying to gain what he had used.
Okay.
That is how. So again, the second year when he came, he took another 400,000. And my name was in the trade license as the manager.
Okay.
But what he did is that he removed a lot of powers of a manager in what we call MOA, the Memorandum of Association.
Yeah.
So my powers in the company was just
Limited
operational,
to. Okay.
not financial.
Okay.
Yeah, because to me, I was against taking loans and not building the company.
Okay.
So when COVID came, immediately before COVID, when just this COVID issue started in 2019, so by that time he had already taken around 1 million dirhams loan. And to me, I was just doing my job. But when COVID came, it hit all the companies.
Of course.
And our company was from 100 guards to around 40 or 50. So this now could not pay the loans. So one day he came, just jokingly, he said, "You know what? I want to close this company. If I close this company, where will you go?" I just thought it and I said, "Okay, I'll open another company, my own company." "What?" "I'll open my security company." "Are you sure?" He thought it was a joke. But that discussion really entered in my head, and I really thought about it. I started thinking, wow. Because after saying that, he was serious. He wanted to close the company and go back.
Okay.
Because now COVID had came and we had reduced staffs, and now the income has reduced. Then the lockdown came, the first lockdown. So he was locked here.
Okay.
So he cannot go. So after this statement, to me, it was an eye-opener, because it was shocking. After doing all this, then I realized, at the end of the day, it's not my company.
Yeah.
So he can close it. He's serious, he can't do it. So that is when I thought about, now, I'm not looking for another job. What I said, I must implement. I said I'll open a company. And
now your own company?
Yes, I started thinking about it while still working in this company.
Okay.
But again, that threat of closing the company put me in a very red, like a danger zone, whereby I was thinking, again, I'll start looking for another job. I said, I'm not looking for another job. So because of that statement, it opened my eyes, and I thought about, and again, by that time, I had so many friends who are working in Denata and other places who have worked for a long time.
Okay.
They were all terminated.
Due to COVID?
Due to COVID.
Okay.
I'm thinking about all these people being terminated. I'm thinking about this guy closing the company.
Where do
I
you
said,
start?
I have to do something.
Okay.
That is when I came up with Global Link Security Services,
Incredible. Your own company.
my own company.
Now, what is happening with your family back home at this time? Are you seeking counsel from dad? Are you seeking counsel from your sister again?
No, this time, through that trade, it's over now them.
Okay.
They can't understand what I'm going through.
Okay.
You know, it's different from the time I came, whereby they could understand what I'm going through as an employee.
Okay.
But to this stage, it's gone to another level where I can only deal with professionals.
Okay.
Even if I talk to my dad, he will not understand fully
Okay.
what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Even if I talk to my sister, she will just advise, but she will not understand. I'm the one who knows.
Full scope of the issue.
Yes,
Okay.
because it was a bit, it was on another level.
What about some of these friends that have lent you money in the early days? Have they also grown in their career? Are they able to understand what you're going through?
Yeah, some of them, I helped some of them on that process. I brought some of them here,
Did you?
gave them jobs. Yeah, I really followed up with them. But now, being that you are growing so fast,
Okay.
things do change. Because now you get new people to deal with up here
Yes.
who can understand what you are going through.
Yes. Yes. Take me to the time when we met. This was COVID times. This is when I heard that there's a group of incredible people
Yeah.
really trying to support the community. Now, what were you going through at that time with your business, and yet putting yourself out there to help other people during COVID times?
That is the time I was going through tough times on the business side, on my career side. And then I came to realize people complain, but people have problems in different levels.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there is one person who, if they don't have 10,000 dirhams, that's a big problem for them.
Yeah.
While at the same time, you find someone who has a problem with 5,000, and you come to the lower side when you have someone who has a problem who doesn't even have food. So what motivated me in this, in coming up with the association, was I lost my stepmom
Okay.
sometime in 2019.
Sorry about that.
Yes. Then when I went, it happened, she died on the 20th, and she was being buried she died on the 10th, being buried on the 20th.
Okay.
So with this, and I have my brother here, I have my sister here, I have some of my cousins here.
Okay.
So they could not go because of the budget.
Okay.
So when I was home, I started thinking, what about the majority who are getting less salary?
Right.
Whenever they have a challenge, how do they face it?
How do they manage?
How do they manage it? Because me, I'm fortunate, I could just go and come back. So when I came back, this thing was really, really bothering me. I was really thinking, how do people survive whenever they get an emergency? And it comes on the date when they've already sent money home.
Okay.
So that is why some people, they lose their loved ones and they cannot go because they do not have that budget.
It's heartbreaking.
So I came back and came up with welfare.
Okay.
I wanted this to be a Kenyan thing so that Kenyans can come together, and whenever there is a challenge, they can face it as a team if one person has a problem.
Okay.
So I went even to church where I was going. Then I realized it's not only Kenyans who are there, it's a mixed. Then I said, no, I want this one for Kenyans.
Okay.
So that's how I came up with KEDWA,
Okay.
Kenya Diaspora Welfare Association. While we were coming up with the association, COVID came. So COVID visited at the same time.
Okay.
Then we realized, no, this is not a problem now. Now we have another bigger problem. People don't have something to eat. People are stopped from job. People are terminated.
Yeah.
A lot of people. That's when we came together, and really inspired people. And we started contributing from our pockets,
Okay.
buying food and supplying to people. We had a website, and then we realized the problem is bigger than what we were thinking. Yeah. Then we really thank God. That is when people like you came up and supported. We had support from the consulate, we had support from the embassy, and we did a very, very hard job.
No, you
that
did an
time.
incredible,
And
incredible outreach program.
sometime we were going to Satwa. You find around 50 to 100 people lining up for food. Sometimes the CIDs were coming and wondering, because it was COVID time, there's so many Africans here. What are they doing? Then they had to call police. Then police will come. When police come, I approach the police. What's happening? I told them, no, we are coming to give food.
Yeah.
Wow, they were so helpful.
Yeah.
They asked me, how can we help? I thought, no, the people were scared. But they realized it's not what they were thinking.
Yeah.
The police was so helpful. They said, what can we do? Just tell them to separate and don't be together
Help
because
organize
of COVID,
and
organize them. And they were there waiting for us to supply food until we finish. Then they can go. So we really got support from nearly all corners, including Dubai police. They really supported us.
It was an incredible outreach, really, that I was very moved by as well. So I know how you are giving back to the community in that sense, and obviously being here as well. Those listeners will obviously be inspired by your journey. But what other message, Crispin, would you have for Africans that are back home now and considering an overseas role, such as taking up something in the UAE? What message do you have for them?
I've attended several meetings, and there is this thing that Africans are known to be consumers.
Okay.
I think it's high time this needs to change.
How so?
How it should change? People should think beyond employment. While in employment, someone should be thinking about what next. If this employment disappears today, can I survive for 5 years? Or can I live alone 5 years? Can I survive for 6 months? So at any given time we are on employment, let's not be very, very comfortable. And more so as Africans.
Okay.
Yeah, because even when I went to register the company, they were surprised. It's like I was the only Kenyan who is registering a security company, So to an extent whereby they even told me to give my passport because it's something very rare. And it's not that Africans are not capable. They are capable, but they have that fear of unknown. They should start thinking, they should remove that from their mind. Okay. They have to jump in that ocean and see what is on the other side.
Wonderful.
Because this fear of unknown is really making people contemplate doing things which they can do. So for those who are working, I really urge them to think about if that job can go, how long can they survive?
Okay.
And if they are sure they can survive for 1 year, then they are ready to start a business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And we dedicated this episode really today to those who are contemplating making any bold moves but are sitting on the fence. And I'm sure, hearing your journey, they will be inspired and motivated to take that leap. So thanks for that. We'll now go through some rapid fire questions to lighten up the discussions. But Crispin, thank you so much for being very candid and really taking us through the entire journey. Having gone through that, what can you share with us today with regards to what you feel is your purpose of life?
My purpose of life is to empower those who, I don't know how to put it, but those who are willing to take that bold step.
Okay.
Because in everything I've been doing, it's a risk that I've been taking. And those risks, they pay.
They've paid off?
They paid off. So never fear taking risks. That is the only thing I can tell everyone, because that is where people always are pulled back by contemplating every year you want to do this and you don't do it. This time, just do it. Start from somewhere,
Okay.
and you'll get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say even taking no action is also taking an action.
It's taking an action.
Just taking an
Yeah.
action. Now, one of Ray Dalio's principles, somebody that I really look up to, is pain plus reflection equals progress. Do you agree?
Yes, I agree totally. Because for you to succeed, you must pass through pain. And if you fear passing through pain, you cannot succeed. I had a chance to look for another job and get another job. Because after Kevin left, he called me for a job in MR.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had that option to take that job and forget about Oscar when things were going wrong. But I decided not, because I knew what I had a dream,
Okay.
which I really had to achieve.
That was a bigger goal you
Yeah,
wanted to pursue.
It was a bigger goal. He was disappointed with me. I know. But to me, I had a bigger goal. And again, having that humanity is very important. Because when the accounts were blocked,
Right.
I had a chance to forget about everything and go look for another job. But again, I was thinking about the staffs.
Yeah.
How
You had a
would they-
responsibility as a
Yeah.
leader.
Yes, and taking that responsibility.
Okay.
So I had these options. So you have to go through some pain to succeed in whatever you want to do. It's never easy.
It definitely never is easy.
Yeah.
But it's paid off in the end.
It's paid off in the end.
Now, I want us to go through some questions. I would like you to guess which African country this is. I'll give you some statements. Where is the famous Masai Mara Reserve, which offers incredible safaris, located?
It's located in Kenya.
Wonderful. The Great Rift Valley, which runs through this country, is believed to be the birthplace of human civilization. Which country is this?
It's in Kenya.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, the final game is name the country that you feel would best suit this famous slogan. Okay? Impossible is nothing. Which country do you think embodies this slogan? Impossible is nothing.
Impossible is nothing. UAE.
Wonderful. And I'll give you another slogan. Just do it.
Oh, that one should go to each and everyone who is contemplating to do something.
Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful. So I hear you when you say that you're offering African opportunities along the way, from Al Ghurair, Al Falah, Oscars, and obviously now your own opportunity, your own company. But how are you helping them elevate themselves so that tomorrow they can be a business owner?
Yeah, since I'm a security expert, and I'm one of the security association in Dubai. I always advise Africans whenever I employ them or whenever I meet them where they're working to try as much as they can to elevate themselves in terms of training.
Okay.
Because, for example, in security, because that's my field, they come here. Most of the people come, they get training as security guards, then they get comfortable.
Okay.
So my push for them is that no, after security guard, train to be a CCTV operator, then go to the supervisor level. From there, you can go to the management level. So I really working on that and try to push my fellow Africans not to stay in the same level for long.
Okay.
Because that is the mistake which they always do. After we get a job, we get comfortable. For example, currently you can find, I have a group, I am in a group of security managers in Dubai. They're looking, most of the time they're looking for CCTV operators.
Right.
You don't get Africans there. I was looking for security manager. You don't get Africans there. So that's my encouragement. They should not stick to the entry level.
Okay.
Don't wait for the company until the company will promote you. You can still promote yourself. Just save
You've
some
shown that
money.
it's possible.
Yes, it's possible.
You've shown that it's
So
possible.
my advice is for them to save some money, go to the next level, do the training, and that's how to grow in their career. Through that one, that is when you can think of operating a business. But if you stick in the entry level, you'll never grow.
Very true.
That's my message.
Very true.
Yeah.
Crispin, it's been such a pleasure talking to you today, and thank you so much for making time for us as well as our listeners. And for all of you that have been with us for this hour, I hope that you found great value. And once again, those of us that are looking at taking a next step, taking a bold step, but are sitting on the fence, I hope today that you are inspired enough to do just that. Take a next step. Thank you so much.
To me, and even through my own story, I felt it is no longer about being an expert or being successful, but it's how do you sustain yourself? And even for entrepreneurs, even today, I say it's not about growth. How do you sustain your growth? It didn't seem that I would be able to achieve what I wanted to achieve while staying true to who I am. And everybody has different values, and to me, the values of living my identity are a priority.